In this tutorial, let's look at how to create a user interface sound for computer games in Logic 9. On this track, I have an instrument track. On this, I want to insert the ES2 synthesizer. This comes up with the default patch, but I want to use this. So let's scroll down to tutorial settings and choose the analog saw in it. So this will come up with one oscillator with a saw waveform. I also don't want any of this modulation. So just remove this modulation off because we won't be using this. So what you've got is a simple saw pattern here. But I don't want that sound. First, let's change this to a sine wave. And also take the sustain and release and drop them all the way down, and the decay. So you've got this clicky sound. Start increasing the decay. That's sounding good there. And increase this attack so you don't have that click noise in the beginning. And you can increase the range. Okay. Increase the decay more and attack. And cut out some of this filter noise here. Now let's record in a little bit. Record. So it's just this simple 2-chord piece. I want to drag this closer in. Yeah. And about there. So now when you create a little loop, okay, close the piano roll. Now let's take a look at some of these other settings. How about adding in another oscillator? For this one, let's add in a square waveform. And you can drag this down here to get the sound. And add in a third oscillator. For this, let's choose a sound. Right click on this and choose wood. Now you can mix between the two. Also, what works quite nice is to add in some of the modulation. It sets a chorus. Increase this. Getting there. It's sounding okay. But what I think we need to do is shorten this. This needs to be a lot shorter. So just select those notes and shorten them to about over here. What also works quite well is this. I need to cut out some of this low end. So let's close this. Go to the channel EQ and enable the analyzer so we can see what's happening, and add a low cut in. Now what also works quite well is to add in some of this reverb. So let's go for platinum verb and decrease the pre-delay and drop the wet down. Set this reverb time to somewhere about 1.2 seconds and play this back and increase the wet. Set the wet to about 15, and you can also change the room size to a bigger size. Now what also works quite well is to add in some other modulation. You have your chorus modulation, but let's add a big chorus effect using the ensemble, which uses 3 different chorus rates where you can change the intensity of each one. Now it also works quite nice. Just add some form of different reverb, some sort of spacey thing. Let's go for the Space Designer. And under these medium rooms, there's this warped spaces and deep space reverb that works quite nice. Drop the mix down and blend this in. And just for some extra modulation, let's add in a flanger, just to slightly warp the sound. I'm going to keep these set as they are, but drop this down and increase it. That's sounding quite good there. So if you had this randomly different settings, let's say you're navigating your menu. You press the start button, you navigate around, and you go to the next screen. And in that, you choose your character. So that's how to create these sort of user interface computer sounds that can be used in computer games.